Let me go over this right now so I don't forget about it, and it's just fresh in our minds. Everyone see constructions. Both, I am telling you, both will be on there tomorrow. Parallel lines and perpendicular line. I'm going to ask you to construct both. All right? And I will have zero sympathy if you can't figure it out by then. All right? You can't look back. I'm telling you, I'm literally giving you the test right here and saying, both of these constructions on there. Are you going to know them or you're not going to know them? That's a decision you're going to make. All right? And I'm going to have zero sympathy if it looks like crud. We all good there? Got that out of the way. I'm telling you, both are on there. I'm not going to say one of each. Guess which one will be on there. Both will be on there. And if you don't want to figure out how to do it by tomorrow at this time, fine. No big deal. All right? Don't cry over your grade. Because I'm going to be coming pretty strong today because I cannot see some of those quizzes again. We all good there? Go back to page 32, please. Go back to page 32. This test is going to be 50 points, 16 questions if you care. Here are all the theorems we have gone over so far. And please don't forget about the theorems that are on your index cards, which are not allowed tomorrow. There's 3 on there that you may want to use. All right, so these are all the theorems that are part of the unit. All right, there's not much I have to talk about here. More I have to talk to you about on actually, it's all on the same page. All right, on page 32. Slopes, you may want to add that in. Down where it says graphing lines, slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. While you guys are writing, I'll ask you this question. What do you know about the slopes of 2 parallel lines? Slopes of 2 parallel lines. 23, what do you know? They are equal to each other. What do you know about the slopes of 2 perpendicular lines as you keep writing these down? Slopes of 2 perpendicular lines. Here you go, 13. Nice job, negative reciprocals. Apologize about before. I should have had you just stay on page 32 about the constructions. That was on page 32. Both will be on there. As far as these 3 forms go of writing a line, I will always have your final answer will always have to be in slope-intercept form. Your final answer. That doesn't mean I could start out with an equation in standard form and say, what's the slope? Or an equation in point slope form and say, what's the slope? But all your final answers for me tomorrow will be in slope-intercept form. And there will be 2 proofs at the end, 5 points each. I'm going to tell you exactly what the proofs are. The first proof, I'm going to give you parallel lines and ask you to prove a pair of angles congruent. All right, first proof tomorrow, I will give you a set of parallel lines and ask you to prove angles congruent. And the other proof will be somehow involving those theorems on your index cards. Those 3 theorems somehow. Anything right now, what you see on page 32? Usually I'd just let you go to work, but I don't feel comfortable doing that, especially with the proofs. So we're going to do 2 together before I let you go. Go to the first one, next page on the first one. And also look at the top of that page. Those are textbook questions I suggest you may want to try out for extra practice at the top of the page. All answers, as usual, are in the back of your packet. All right, all answers to everything are in the back of your packet. All right, get number 1 set up. I'll talk to you in about a minute. First thing we need to do together is prove BF and CE are parallel. Got to prove those two lines are parallel. Couple different ways we could go about it. Look at the givens. Look at the givens. Some of you may see one thing, some of you may see another, and that's fine because there's a couple ways to do that. What are you thinking about when you see these givens? Okay, let's go. Let's hear from 8. What do we just, first thing that's popping into your head with those givens, 8? Oh, all right. First thing, and maybe some of you didn't see this, is I have 2 perpendicular statements and they both have repeating lines, AD. So 2 lines perpendicular to the same line. How do I finish that theorem? What do I know? 18. If 2 lines are perpendicular to the same line, they're parallel. Name the 2 parallel lines. BF and CE are parallel. And that's exactly what I had to do in the first one. And again, just make sure we're paying attention here. 16, what's the theorem say again? Now, let's say you didn't see that. Is there another way to get the lines parallel? Yes, there is. I'm not going to write it down, but let me show you on the diagram, everybody. Here we go, number 18. What do perpendicular lines form? Okay, so everybody take a look up here. BF and AF, that's a right angle. CE and AD, that is a right angle as well, because that's what I know about perpendicular lines. They form right angles. All right. Let's keep going. 14, keep going with me. What do you know about 2 right angles? Anybody? 14? What do I know about 2 right angles? They equal 90. Keep going. That means they're congruent to each other. Everyone agree? They're congruent. All right. What type of angles? Oh, and I can do this one here too. Let me actually do that one. These are 2 congruent angles right now. What type of angles are they that we've been talking about specifically in this unit? 7. What type of angles are those? Not here. Thank you. Here you go. How about 23? What type of angles are those? Corresponding. And if they're congruent, put them together, what do I have? 26. If I have 2 congruent corresponding angles, what do I have? Parallel lines. So that's how I could get to BF and CE. Say they're right angles, say they're congruent, and then tell me the lines are parallel. All right, perfect. So we got that first part down. Let's keep going with the proof. Now explain to me why PFB is congruent to QCE, those 2 angles. Why would they be congruent? And remind yourself, we just proved those lines parallel. So why in the world would these 2 angles be congruent? I'll give you a second before I call on somebody here to think about those angles. And remember, again, you just proved the lines parallel. If it helps you, highlight them tomorrow. Maybe you'll see something in common. Okay, let me go to number 12. Do they have a common side? They don't? Okay, what's the transversal they have in common? Yep, PFCQ. Everyone see that? They have that one in common. They both share this one right here. Meaning the other part of the angles, oh, look where they fall. They fall right on where? My parallel lines here. So they have to have some relationship. If part of them are on the parallel lines and the other part is the side they have in common, they have a relationship. Name these type of angles. 7, any idea on the name? Not here. Name these type of angles. 27. Oh, perfect. Let's try one more time with 23. Name those types of angles. Nice job there. Alternate exterior. Everyone agree? They're outside these lines, and they're on opposite sides of that transversal. So we can go right to step 3 and say PFB is in fact already congruent to QCE. How about a solid reason right here now? 11, a solid reason. No, they're not. Not unless you have what? And this is what there you go. A lot of you guys forgot that part on your quiz. All right. Alternate exterior angles are not congruent unless the lines are parallel. Questions on that one? Go to number 3. Go to number 3. Go ahead, get yourself set up. Let's use all our givens right now. I am told those two lines are parallel. I'm going to need somebody to pick off a pair of special angles if those lines are parallel. Angles formed by those two parallel lines and a common transversal. I need a pair of angles formed by AB and CE and a common transversal. Do we see? There's actually 2 pair you could give me. 19, see any one of those 2 pairs. DCE, okay, and I'm listening. CAB, nice, I like it. I like it. Usually people don't see those pair. I like it. Angle A is congruent to angle DCE. I'm going to open it up to you guys. What type of angles did he just give me? Those are called what? 25, what are those called? Here, they are corresponding. So give me a nice reason to put here. 19, give me a nice reason now to put here. Perfect. Perfect. Do you see any other types of angles? Because there's one more pair up here. Other than the corresponding, there's another pair of angles up here. Special type. 4, see any? Not here, perfect. Here you go, 19, see any? Two that are totally different from these two. And remember, hey, what's the proof statement say, Billy? No, proof statement, proof statement. Last one, you gave me something about angle A, right? Okay, so give me something with angle B now. ECB, you got it. He's got it. And Before I write the reason, what type of angles did he just give me? 12. What type of angles are these two? Okay, so now that we know that, give me a good reason. Number 21, good reason here. Got it. Hey, can I use substitution on these two? To get A congruent to B, can I use substitution? No, there's nothing repeating. So you cannot use substitution, meaning we need to keep going. Plus, I haven't used all my givens. You will always use every single one. Which given have I not even touched yet? 7. Which one have I not touched yet? How about 21? Which one have I not touched yet? CE bisects DCB. Which two angles must be congruent if that's a true statement? Name the two angles. 17. Name those two angles that must be congruent. DCE and ECB. Love it. So angle DCE and angle, what was the other one? ECB. How about a good reason here? 20. How about a good reason? There we go. The definition of a bisector. We're getting there now. Okay, look at these 3 congruent statements you came up with in steps 2 through 4. Is there somehow I could use all 3 to get to A and B being congruent? Somehow? And the answer is not one substitution, is it? Because we just said that. There's no way I can just substitute once here because I can't use it and get A and B. So what I want to do right now, next person I call on here, give me 2 statements you're going to apply substitution to. Or you can use substitution on. 15, give me 2 statements you can apply substitution. Hold on, what? Just name the statements by number. 2 and 4, okay. So 2 and 4, yes, I can apply substitution. Next person, apply it. 17, so looking at these 2 right here, what can you get out using substitution? You got it. Call that step 5. One more time there, Emma. Angle A. Angle ECB. Everyone see where she's getting that? Because DCE is what they're both equal to, so they must be equal to each other. Now, somebody use these 2 to come up with a substitution statement. One more substitution statement from those 2. 7. I'll learn. 8. There you go. And that's my proof statement. Second substitution. Be aware of that. That's just not one and done most times. It's got to have 2 substitutions. You have 2 choices right now. You can grab a textbook and try the textbook questions I'm recommending, or you can keep going with the proofs. It's up to you. Please look back in the back of the packet to check your work. If your proof is different than the one I put on the back, call me over. I'll look at it. It might be true. All right, might be good. All right, let's get going.